With all the disruptions in our lives of late, one thing that has remained steady and true is mail delivery. But what about safety concerns for you and the men and women who handle your letters and packages? We sent 3 News investigator Rachael Polansky to take a look.
When this Shaker Heights mom opens a package,
and I wore gloves, and I opened the packages on the front doorstep.
she's thinking about her every move.
And then the contents of the packages I just wipe down with alcohol wipes.
That's because Zia Sarabella and her husband Kyle would rather be safe than sorry.
Grabbing cardboard and taking something out of the box is just like shaking somebody's hand.
A recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that the coronavirus was detectable up to 24 hours on cardboard, though researchers said no COVID-19 cases have been linked to contact with packages. At Amazon, Jeff Bezos says safety is top priority. Writing in part, we've implemented a series of preventative health measures for employees and contractors, from increasing the frequency and intensity of cleaning to adjusting our practices in fulfillment centers to ensure the recommended social distancing guidelines. To meet exploding demand, Amazon is also hiring 100,000 new workers and offering any employee who tests positive 2 weeks paid leave. Over at the U.S. Postal Service, management is encouraging healthy behavior among employees, including frequent hand washing, use of sanitizers, and additional cleaning of workspaces, while telling sick employees to stay home. They've also worked with their postal unions to temporarily expand leave options for employees. But what do those on the front lines really think?
Today, for instance, I called off. I used my sick time because I don't feel safe going there.
I asked 2 Cuyahoga County mail carriers, and I got 2 very different answers.
They provide us with cleaning supplies, and they also tell us if we don't feel safe, we don't have to do anything.
A USPS spokesperson says there is currently no evidence that COVID-19 is being spread through the mail, pointing to guidance from both the CDC and the World Health Organization. As of Sunday, about 40 out of the more than 600,000 USPS employees had tested positive for COVID-19. Now, USPS did confirm for me that one of those positive cases is an employee out of their Beechwood post office. Rachael Polansky, 3 News.